Somebody to do a legitimate bona fide spit take. Something so funny they can no longer control their beverages. It took me about 2 seconds to realize it was not a genuine bona fide spit take, but the young man had in fact projectile vomited on the woman in front of him, causing the woman's quite muscular boyfriend to jump up and say, "Hey dude, what the heck? What the heck, man?" And it was just like this dim gloom was cast over my entire show. I just sat there, and the only thing I could think to do was imitate Mr. McMahon and be on the mat and go, he's gonna puke. And every time I tried to build a little momentum, I'd hear this guy yelling out the name of this guy I used to wrestle with named The Rock.
Rocket Star!
He had potential at one point. Don't know what happened. I said, "Rock," and he yelled out, "Rock!" And I looked at him and I said, "Yes, you are correct, sir." And then I went to the left side of the stage and I began a different story, and yet he still yelled out The Rock's name. And I looked over and I saw he was holding up a photo. Went to the left side, he yelled out The Rock's name again. I looked back and I could see that he was holding up the Xbox 360 with The Rock's likeness on it. And I said, "You are correct for a third time." Now on time 9, I was getting tired of it. The guy was killing my momentum. And I said, "Hey, come on up here, buddy. Let me take a look at that." And he handed me the Xbox 360, and I was in mid-fling when I had a flashback to my days in the ECW arena. Any of you guys make the pilgrimage to the old ECW arena back in the day? Then you would know it was in fact not an arena at all, but a converted bingo hall next to a dollar store, where for a 10 spot, these maniacal fans from across the country and the world could load up on a cornucopia of cheap weaponry. It was considered a badge of honor to hand a cheap $1 aluminum frying pan to your favorite wrestler to use on his opponent. No harm, no foul. Yeah, you could get a cheese grater at the dollar store. And so in 1995, I was in the middle. Like I said, there's a flashback of my days in the ECW arena. I was in the middle of swinging what I thought was a $1 aluminum frying pan when I realized it's a cast iron skillet. And it would be 3 days before the Sandman knew the sound of his own name. I had that similar flashback right there in Erie in mid-fling as I looked at that young man, got a good look and went, "He's got special needs." Because I tried to more or less check my swing. It was an awful fling, and it just kind of skipped limply off the stage, plopped unceremoniously on the floor, and then this poor young man ran after it. And I just felt like such a dick. I don't know if you guys have heard the rumors about me and my thriftiness on the road. Well, they're true. They're damn true. All right? Hard-earned, but despite the legendary thriftiness...
Foley, 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 Foley.
Despite that legendary thriftiness, as soon as that show was over, I grabbed the club manager and said, "Load that kid up with as much free Mick Foley memorabilia as you can carry." And now we're friends on Facebook. So it worked out pretty good. Well, before we take some questions, I'm going to tell you why I do this. Why? First of all, is we don't know what I'm going to say. It lets people rest at ease, knowing they're going to get the chance to answer the wrestling questions. But from a selfish perspective, sometimes you guys will come up with questions I wouldn't have thought of that jog a memory that result in a story that I might end up using as part of my show. And that was the case a while back where a guy raised his hand. He said, "I want to know what the strangest thing you've ever seen in your career was. Was it losing your ear in Munich, Germany?" I thought about it, legitimate question, right? Not only was losing my ear strange, but the circumstances surrounding it were strange. The only time that I know of, both English-speaking referees have been sent home, one due to a knee injury, the other due to a death in the family, and have been replaced by a French referee who spoke no English, was therefore unable to tell either me or my opponent Vader that he had my ear in his hand. So we just kept wrestling, because that's what fake wrestlers do. Yeah! I thought, okay, that's a legitimate question. But it was almost like a light went off above my head. And all of a sudden, I was thinking back to a time in 1997 when I was in Germany. I told the guy, I said, that's not even the strangest thing that's happened to me in Germany. I began telling that story about walking in Frankfurt, a part of the city called the Red Light District, where there were rumors of live sexual acts taking place on stage. And I was curious because I'd never seen one of those live on stage. And so I went with 3 of my cohorts who shall remain nameless. No, we know that's the response. I'll protect their images. That's the responsible thing to do. And we walked into that club. I opened up the door. It was like going from black and white Kansas to brilliant Technicolor Oz. There was this guy, and he just looked like a sexual gladiator. And he was fornicating. He was putting on a show. I mean, this guy's penis was almost impossibly large. It was pumping with piston-like power and precision, which is an author's tool known as alliteration. Yeah. The constant sound of a single consonant, right? Okay. And then we noticed something that no one else in the room, me with my wrestler's trained eye for detail, noticed something that no one else seemed to observe at all.